Joe's children learned a good many lessons, important lessons in life from Mom and Dad. And a good number of those were reinforced by Dad when we took our turn, not always enthusiastically, working at Hagel's Hardware on Main Street in Bicycle, Alberta. We learned important lessons that stayed with us for life. Things like work hard and be responsible. Always treat others with respect. Do the best you can to help other people get what they want. And you finish every business discussion with those two important words, thank you. After 43 years in the store, about 30 years ago, Mom and Dad sold the store, retired in Bicycle, remained active in the community, and Dad, including his involvement with the Knights of Columbus and the Lions and the Senior Center. The kids have talked about, and the grandchildren, about some of the things that, that we remember that stand out as special memories about Dad. Many of them through the years of his life in Bicycle. And we'd like to share some of those with you here tonight. Things like being carried to bed by Dad even though he knew that you were just faking that you were asleep. Dad even letting us use his new car when we were learning how to drive. Standing in the kitchen as he was heading out the door to go back to the store after lunch and saying, "Adios, amigos," and Dad responding, "Mach's gut," German for good luck. Everyone being seated around the kitchen table in Bicycle, playing cards or horse races, and just the whole house being absolutely filled with shouting and laughter. And it's been noted that when Uncle Lorne was one of those that was playing, the cheating quotient went way up. The memory of coming home after Mass on Saturday night, and if there wasn't a hockey game on, Dad putting on the music, and then he and Mom dancing. Playing pool with Dad at the Senior Center. And then, if you missed a big shot, him letting you shoot it over again. We all remember Dad showing his emotion so comfortably, with quiet tears, and especially when he felt proud. It was a gift he passed on to his children. And in recent times, he talked about some of his dreams when he dreamed about Mom. And he would say that whenever he saw her in his dreams, she was always wearing a chartreuse dress. And then there's Lauren and Terry and me, who carry a bit of jealousy right to this day. Because even at the age of 96, Dad had more hair on top than the three of us put together. It was a huge loss for Dad some 17 years ago when Mom passed suddenly. It wasn't easy, but he quickly learned some basic domestic skills. Making toast was a big accomplishment. But he developed them quickly because it was important to him to continue to live independently in his beloved Bicycle. He spent a lot of time visiting with friends and at the Senior Center. And then 7 years ago, Dad decided that the time had come for him to move to the Prince of Peace Manor here in Calgary, where he made some new friends, including a very, very special friend, Doris Burney. We also learned that the staff at Prince of Peace, and in just recent days at the Peter Lougheed Center, developed an affection for this friendly and respectful man. But for Dad, the best of all, in these years that he lived in Calgary, was that he got to spend way, way, way more time with his family here in Calgary, with Terry and Annie, Diane, Jack, with Lynn, with his granddaughter, Kristen, Lawrence, and his grandchildren, Juliet, and Nora, and Dexter. The grandchildren developed great memories of Grandpa Joe, great-grandpa Joe. Many of them developed in what became the regular Wednesday visits. And they remember that Grandpa Joe always had some candy ready for the visit. He had that blue ball that was so much fun to bounce. And he gave such generous great-grandpa hugs. And little 4-year-old Dexter Joseph, liked to wear his suspenders because he had suspenders just like Grandpa Joe. And when getting together or partying, oftentimes they'd have this little routine where they would bump foreheads. And Dad would say, "Tutsamach," which is a German expression of love from an adult to a child. Well, it said, the measure of character is found not in how you handle the good times, but how you handle the tough times. And about a month ago, his 6 children sat down with officials from Prince of Peace Manor and Alberta Health. We didn't know at the time what had caused it. The top of Dad's spine had become pinched, and within hours, he lost his ability to control his hands and his feet and his legs and his arms. And they said to us, Prince of Peace can no longer offer Joe the support that he needs, and so he needs to go to the hospital, and the time is now. And we said, if we stay with him tonight, will you wait till tomorrow so that we can give him the message ourselves? And they agreed. We talked among ourselves, and we agreed that as the oldest child, it would be my role to give him the message. And so a few hours later, we gathered together in his suite, all together. And I gave Dad the tough message. It would be so understandable for anyone being told how they were just dramatically lost their health, and they are about to lose the place they call home and an uncertain future, to respond with anger and bitterness about the unfairness of it all. Dad listened, and then he said quietly, if it is the will of God, then I will deal with it a day at a time. And if it means that being together with Mom will come sooner, I kind of like that idea. And so as a family together, we spent some wonderful time talking together. And as the discussion neared the end, Dad turned and said to me some words that I will never, ever forget as long as I live. He said, "Thank you for being able to tell me." That is the measure of the character of the man. So we're all confident as we gather this evening that, you know, there's a big reunion going on in heaven. A big one. Dad's there. His brothers and sisters and relatives and friends. I kind of think he's sticking kind of close to the woman in the chartreuse dress. We're absolutely certain there's a card game going on, and the place is filled with laughter. They're all together in the arms of God. So let me conclude with Dad's own words. He was a supportive person, always was. And if anyone told him about something they were planning to do or an idea they had, he would typically respond with a phrase that was his very own. He'd say, "That's a good idea." Well, Joe Hagel, we're going to miss you. But we believe that in the eyes of God, in the eyes of your family and friends, Joe Hagel, you were a good idea.